We haven't been in the front garden for quite some time. The ground is an absolute jungle, covered in strawberries and valerian, salad burnet. The comfrey is still going. It's nicely sheltered behind the fence there. Even that oak has not yet dropped its leaves, but look at the colour on the aronia of the chokeberries. That is stunning. Oh, the heather is flowering. Oh, that one won't survive much longer. I still have some ladies' bed straw as well. And the passion flower that just goes crazy, that I thought I had chopped that stem off completely, but I left it there thinking I'd leave that trunk there for clematis to climb up when I planted that. That was a mistake. It just regrew. From that size of trunk it regrew. Unbelievable. Jerusalem artichokes have just fallen over across the path and have tiny flowers coming on the end. Lovely. So I shall harvest. I can just leave the Jerusalem artichokes there. I can chop them down as they die down, but I can leave them in the ground until I want to harvest them. October and still getting flowers on the roses. Oh, no. The Jerusalem artichoke flowering. Beautiful. Aquilea still living there. Wow. It won't be long till it dies down, but this is a very sheltered garden. Oh, I just got showered in rain, knocked off the tree. Compost has to be turned soon. There's gentle Hermione. Even the lemon balm has put up a whole bunch of new growth. It's worth growing Jerusalem artichoke just for the flowers. Well past time to harvest rhubarb. This needs digging up and splitting this year. Runner beans still putting up pods. I need those to develop properly, and then when they've got swollen very nicely like that, the beans in, I'll take them off and dry them indoors for the seeds. They've made delicious stews through this year that I harvested from last year. They made absolutely lovely stews, and they are just the same in texture and almost flavor as kidney beans, the red kidney beans, and they're very filling. I made a chili with it once, not just in stews but a chili, and oh, they are filling. Parsley still doing well, and look, a tomato growing from the bit I cut, and a kale. The fig is still going. I've still got some fruitlets hanging on. Hopefully next year will be a good fruiting year. You never know. October, almost mid-October already, and it's feeling very autumnal. We've had one frosty morning. That was our cue that, yep, autumn was definitely here, and winter knocking at the door. Cover it up with some lovely fresh compost. Speaking of compost, I emptied and layered all the kitchen scraps from the veggies, the raw veggies and fruits and stuff like that, because I never add cooked food to the compost, but certainly the raw kitchen veggie and fruit scraps. and I got some straw and the horse manure from my friend, thanks Chris, and I lasagna layered it in both composters, that one and this one. It seems that one actually composts much quicker than that one, although this one holds more, so it's probably why. But yeah, they're both sheltered between the bushes and the wall, but they get enough sunshine because the sun comes from behind me when we get sunshine in the winter. But yeah, so I did that, and no slow worms. So the slow worms that were in the compost have migrated somewhere else. So what I did was I layered a compost bag, I'll show you now, and I folded it and put it on the ground above some leaves and sticks and covered it with more sticks. Under there. So hopefully the slow worms will find a place under there, and I'll keep piling on as the winter comes on and I'm pruning, doing some winter pruning. I will cover the ground above that and make sure it's nice and sheltered for the winter. Hopefully the slow worms will come back. Other than that, when all the good compost that was at the bottom of the composters, I took handsful and just scattered him all around on the beds so that they get a nice, just a little bit of a feed through the winter, ready for the spring. But you don't need inches and inches of compost, because in nature, when the trees and the bushes and the shrubs drop their leaves, there isn't inches and inches and inches of leaves always. There isn't that much, and these are already composted, and we've seen how an entire compost bin can compost right down to just a foot of compost, just the equivalent of one compost bag from a massive big composter. So I've just put handsful in places around on the beds, and layered it with straw and the manure. And look at that, you should have seen the worms in there. Thousands upon thousands of worms. Right, it's time to harvest my Chilean guavas. They look like blueberries. Apparently they're related to blueberries. They have a tougher skin, but they are absolutely delicious. And yes, there is a hint of fresh raw guava and even strawberry. These ones, oh, they're so delicious, just like that. And when my granddaughter, the oldest of the granddaughters, when she was little, she used to come and forage by herself. She was 3 years old and she was foraging by herself the Chilean guavas that she absolutely adores. We haven't really had a good harvest since, until now, and I think it's just because we are right next to the composter, and all the food from the composter is going under the soil straight to the Chilean guava, and this is the largest of them that we've had for a long time. And I thought I'd better harvest before really bad weather comes. They are so delicious, absolutely delicious. And these apparently, back in Victorian times, were just as much a staple as strawberries, and they grew in this country, in the UK. I would love more space, more land, and I would just grow loads and loads and loads of these. You could buy these by the punnet. They would cost a fortune, but if I were growing them, so many of them, I wouldn't have to pay that, would I? Well, you can't see them in the shops by us, that's for sure. This would be speciality shops you'd get them at. And they haven't been susceptible to pests or disease, really. Very good, but I've just noticed a couple teeny tiny little holes. So I'm not sure what that was that's eaten them. But it's the first time I've ever had that happen. I don't think it's birds. Birds would just eat the whole thing. They would just take the whole thing and munch it all. Right, so I'm going to love you and leave you because I need my hands free for this. And it's freezing cold. Oh, what a beautiful bush. And it's been evergreen. This is an evergreen bush in my garden. Right, it's freezing cold, sopping wet, and I need to do that before my fingers freeze off. Wow, that's all I managed to harvest, although there's more than 3 times that amount still on the bush. Some still ripening. They do look exactly like blueberries, but they taste different and are tougher skins. So that is a beautiful, unusual, edible, evergreen fruit to grow in your suburban garden. And like I said, it's mid-October. I'll still be harvesting Chilean guavas into November, maybe even December. And what I'm going to do with these, well, you're just going to have to wait and see, aren't you? Just like that, as soon as we had a dry break in the weather again, we cut off the bottom of this passion fruit and completely cleared it from the top. And now we have some wonderful sunshine coming into the garden again. Just lovely. Plants are enjoying the sunshine. Even the Jerusalem artichokes are still flowering because of it. Lots of tidying up yet to do, especially around the paths. And oh, remember there was a potato growing out the bottom of that composter? These are the two plus a few more small ones of potatoes that grew from underneath the composter. They were at the bottom of the composter and the plant grew out the side underneath the composter. No care at all. Just look at that. Beautiful. No disease, no pest. How could you complain about that compared to the ones we grew in the pot that were not that good and not that many either? And this is literally no care, grown from the compost. Figure that one out. Oh, and in the back garden, moments like this with the sunshine, oh, it's so precious. So you get any sunshine, grab your chance and get out in the garden or in nature, wherever you are. Wonderful, really lovely. Not much left of that horseradish, the leaves anyway. Still getting of the alpine strawberries. Look at that. And delish. In October. It's lovely. Oh, and look. The fruit cage has been cleared off. Most of the fruits are almost all gone, apart from the odd one or two, which I shall just forage. They're now either bird food or mine. Yummy. A couple more on there, but we'll leave them. There's a few on here too. Last few there. But obviously this old yucky greenhouse frame is all no good now. So it's going to be dumped. We're going to get rid of all of this and alter this a bit. And for that, you're also going to have to wait. So lots of things going on that you're going to have to wait for. Sorry. Going to keep you on tender hooks. Look at this broccoli. And I have been using some of the leaves from the broccoli as cabbage leaves. All good, all good. Bees are still going. Who knows if they'll survive the winter. I'll get something more protective over the beds to keep them for the winter. Oh, and that's also going to be going. Going to do a different kind of setup there because that worked for 1 year and then didn't anymore. So that is all going to be changing. So stay tuned. But I can't promise this year. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year. Hopefully by the spring, it'll all make sense. Oh, sunshine. There you go, folks. I hope this October catch-up has been at least, I don't know. I can't call it entertaining and I can't call it interesting. It's just an update. The Chilean guavas, though, are the highlight for me. What has been the highlight of these videos for you? I'm sure it is simply just that. There hasn't been much different. and maybe the change with the passion flower being taken out. Oh, that sounds awful. Taken out. So there you go, folks. If this has had any value to you at all, please do let me know. If there's anything actually you would like to see, as I always ask, I would like to make videos you'd want to watch. So tell me what it is you want to see. I have had some questions from others in the past, and I have been answering their questions and trying to make content appropriately to answer those. But obviously, oh yes, there's a lot going on that's going to be changing, but I can't tell you that yet. Everything's been put in place and I've been drawing up plans, so just hold your horses, be patient. Things will be improving and be more structured and hopefully more useful from Blue Garden Cottage. Until then, folks, do take care. I have to go off now and do a heck of a lot more editing for both channels, and oh gosh, there was something else I had to do as well. Oh yes, there's some planning happening as well for something else that will be added into the other channel. So do stay tuned and go into the description box at the bottom of the more information. I will always put a link to the other videos on the other channels as well. So stay tuned and up to date. I will continue to try to do weekly videos, if not fortnightly, but certainly no less than fortnightly. All right, folks, take care. Enjoy the sunshine when it happens and get outdoors. Bye-bye, folks.